We talked about the while loop and we learned about the while loop. Now we're gonna start about the learning about the for loop. So we use the for loop when we know how many times we're gonna iterate or how many times we're gonna repeat. So if I know that I'm going to do a repetition for 10 times, then it makes more sense to use the while for loop. Even though I could use the while, but it's more easier to use the for loop than using the while loop when we know the how many repetition we have. But if you don't know how many repetition, then it will make more sense to use the while loop. So let's learn how we're gonna write it. So we're gonna write for, and then we're gonna open our parentheses, and then over here we're gonna initialize our index value, which is I usually prefer to name it I as shortcut for index. And what we mean by that, this is the value that we're gonna repeat each time. It will increment one by one, so it will help us to reach the end of the program. So we're gonna say, okay, I equals 0. I could also have written it over here, but I could also have written just integer I equals 0, and over here all what I had to do just write I, and I would be good. But this were more better to use it this way, because sometimes if you put over there, then it will cause some confusion when we are using two loops or something like that. So it's easier to put it inside this inside over here. The reason why it's easier to put over here, because it's now, if we put it over here, it's on the scope of this for loop only. So only for loop can access this integer, and no other integer can access it unless they declare the integer on their loop or on their function or in their program. But for now, it's only for loop can access I. But if we put it over here, then everyone could access it. And so yeah, that's why we're gonna learn about the scope in upcoming videos. But just keep in mind that's why we're using it over here. So we're gonna say, okay, and over here we're gonna put our condition, and we're gonna say while I is, so we said we're gonna repeat 10 times. We're gonna say, okay, while I less than 10 times. But you say, okay, I want to repeat 10 times, but you're saying over here it's less than 10 times. This means it's not gonna repeat 10 times because it's less than 10 times. Well, it's not like that, because we set I equals 0, which means we're also gonna count the repetition for the 0. So we're gonna start from the 0. We go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and when you go to the reach 9, you already have finished 10 iteration. That's why it's gonna repeat 10 times. So this, we mean by this, it's gonna repeat 10 times. Even though as we saying over here, it's less than 10, but if I put it over here, then this means I'm gonna repeat 9 times, because I'm not starting from 0. I'm starting from 1. So yeah, and over here we're gonna write increment either this way. This says increment I by 1. So this means that in the next iteration I'm gonna equal 1, and after that it's gonna equal 2, and it's continue like that. Or if you want to decrement, you just type it this way. So we're going with the increment. So we go, and then you open the curly braces, and we're gonna say out I, and so yeah, we're just gonna print out the number, and let's run the program and see what's gonna happen. Let's run it one more time. Oh, we forgot to put the end line. So let's see what's happening. So it's gonna say, okay, number 0, number 1, 2, 3 till 9, as you guys see, and it stopped. It didn't print 10 for us because the condition is not true anymore when we reach 10. And this is the way. So you use that when we know that we're gonna repeat for specific number. This time we know that we're gonna repeat 10 times. That's why we put the for loop. We could also use the while loop, but it makes more sense to use the for loop. And yeah, so this is just an basic about the how to use the while loop. You write the for, and then you open the parentheses, and you initialize the I. And an important point: don't forget this semicolon over here. As you guys see, there is 2 semicolon over here. This is really important, and it's easy to forget about it and makes errors in your program. So whenever you finish initializing, you put semicolon, and whenever you finish your condition, you're also gonna put semicolon. So this is a really important point, and we're gonna continue learning about the for loop in upcoming videos. And I will also have a video about the how to use about this statement and the different situation that we're gonna use it. So thank you for watching this video.